Hey, what's going on, guys? So I went ahead and skipped like the whole intro and all of that stuff. I know that I came on earlier and said that today was going to be canceled, but then I managed to somehow make it here to get this going. So I'm just going to run it like I've run it every Thursday. If you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't. Look, I'm okay with that. It's super okay. Today has just been a really busy day. So I've been working on the brakes in my truck, so I've had that going on. Then we just got like this gas range put upstairs so that we did away with the electric. So I kind of had that going on at the same time. So look, guys, I'm going to apologize if you're missing the stream because I said that it was canceled earlier, but now it's on. It is definitely on. This is one of my favorite times of the week to get on here to hang out with you guys, to kind of go over the Instagram that I missed for the week, because that tends to be like one of the things that I do. I tend to miss the whole like Instagram and what goes on there. So today on my Throwback Thursday, I'm going to do two unboxings, right? Because it seems like Funko has kind of been dropping the ball on us lately when it comes right down to it. Even though they have that like whole Toy Fair thing coming out, right? I'm going to do the Throwback Thursday today with Jimmy Carter. So I'm going to do Jimmy Carter first, and then I'm going to move over into Stan Lee. Now, my Jimmy Carter box is kind of in bad shape. Now, he's one of them that was actually shipped to me from Walmart, and if you've ever had anything like shipped from Walmart, just know that it is a horrible idea. They have no concept of like where your pop should be, like in the grand scheme of like shipping groceries and stuff. This guy will get put like way down at the bottom somewhere, and then they'll throw stuff on the top of it. But that's okay, right? Because you know that I don't really believe in reselling stuff or becoming a reseller. So Jimmy Carter, I can just take right out of the box. Hey, wife, how are you doing today? So Jimmy Carter is 48 out of the group. On the back of Jimmy Carter, they're showing Reagan, Kennedy, and Jackie Kennedy as well. Check that out back there. Let's see. So that is going to be, he's number 48. They're showing 4 more comments on the back of that. I want to say that they did all of the presidents, but I'm not saying that because I don't truly know, if we're being honest with each other, right? I don't truly know that if they've done all of the presidents or if they stopped like after a few, if there's some licensing stuff going on there. I'm just not 100% sure, but for some reason, Jimmy Carter's hair looks strangely a lot like mine. So let's take a closer look at that. And you know, he's got the whole like gray going on, his thumbs up, all of that good stuff. He's got the peanuts in his hand. I don't know if y'all know this, but Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer before he was a president of the United States. So that's why they have the peanuts in his hand, is kind of paying tribute to the fact that he's a peanut farmer in Georgia. So Jimmy Carter is one of those presidents that I tend to like really like, right? So he's got the bag of peanuts in his hand, all that good stuff. Next, we're going to go with the Panini Finish Stan Lee, right? So this is another classic, right? He is 07 on the back of this one. They have the whole donations that you can go and like donate to the heroes of your community and stuff like that. If you haven't checked that out, go to Stan Lee's website. He has all of that on there where you can like make donations for charitable events to do with what they call like, and on the back of this one I want to say that they're calling it like the Helping Comic Creators in Need is what they're calling that. He has all kinds of those on his website. If you've never went and checked that out, go check that out. There's all kinds of like really interesting stuff on there. And look, there's all kind of places where you can donate, where they have like the local heroes, all of that good stuff. Yesy Lou, how are you doing, brother? It is good to see you. So this Panini Finish Stan Lee was the first Stan Lee that I managed to get my hands on. And when I grabbed him, I went ahead and grabbed 2 of them out of the group. So I actually have 2 of these, and I've kind of just been holding on to them for a while. I'm going to tell you what's funny though. The Panini Finish on them are different on every one of them. So that Panini Finish is not the same on the other one like it is this one. But this is the first Stan Lee that I've ever put in my collection, was the Panini Finish Stan Lee. And then since then, you know, they just kept coming out with Stan Lees. The problem with getting your hand on a Stan Lee for the long time was that the Stan Lees were only available at a Comic-Con. So unless you were at a Comic-Con and Stan Lee was at the Comic-Con, you were not going to get your hands on a Stan Lee. And that's just the way they did it, and they did it like that for a really long time. They kind of kept him, his pops they were very exclusive to the cons, and you didn't see them anywhere else. I mean, that is where you've seen the Stan Lee stuff. Getting into Funko news this week, though, there really is not. any Funko news. The latest Funko news is going to be Funko is doing the whole toy fair. They're kind of doing it on their own. It's going to be on the 19th. I want to say it's the 19th through the. How about we pull that up real quick and we'll talk about it while we're looking at it. So I don't know if y'all have had a chance to check that out or if that's something that you get into. But they normally do like the whole like New York toy fair every year. They haven't done it this year. I mean, so this year is going to be a little different. They're kind of doing their own thing, and that's really the only like news that you have coming out of Funko right now is the fact that they're going to be kind of doing their own thing when it comes right down to it. And I don't really know if we're going to call that Funko news or not. This is kind of how I feel about all of this at this moment. Their lack of news is almost news, right? I mean, the fact that they haven't come out with any kind of news almost tells you, hey, babe, have a good day. I love you. So the fact that they haven't come out with any news lately tells you that there's something, either the fair, the toy fair, when they're about to like show us what's coming up in 2021 is going to be just this big blowout, something like we've never seen before, or they are really doing a rollback on what they are doing, right? So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see in the toy fair exactly what they're doing and exactly how that's going to go down to see if that's what's going on or if they are really like rolling back what they're going to be doing. So this is what I was saying just a second ago, and this is really the only Funko news that has happened lately, is they have this toy fair that's coming up. It's going to be let me find the exact date for you real quick. So it's going to be and I want to say it's the 19th, but I don't see on here where they're telling me. So they really, let's see, it's a virtual event. I mean, we already knew that, right? I mean, I was kind of like, I guess I just kind of assumed we already knew that it was going to be a virtual event. It's going to be the 19th through the 29th. Now, in this virtual event, they actually took down a lot of stuff that they had in this, because I've actually read this a couple of times, and what they had in here and all of that, they kind of took all of that out and just kind of made it this very simple one paragraph, which is what they should have did to begin with. Now, it's going to be from the 19th to the 26th and the 29th, and in this like time, it's going to be an all virtual thing. So if I had to guess exactly what's going on, they're going to have their artist again. They're going to do like an artist alley, kind of like you've seen at the cons, except it's going to be a virtual artist alley. So they have the artist kind of giving you the backstory on what's going on in some of this stuff, and then they're going to do like this whole not artist alley, they'll do this unveiling, right? So they'll come out and they'll do some unveiling of pops, and you'll see the different varieties and the different stuff that they're going to have coming out in 2021, just like they did last year at the New York Toy Fair. Just this year they're not going to the New York Toy Fair, and I don't honestly think that it's going on this year due to the pandemic and everything else that's going on with life, right? I mean, we all know that there's a lot right now going on with life, so I want to say that that's the reason why Funko stayed away from this, and it's a very good reason to stay away from it. So that's really the only news that Funko has given us since they did their whole 12 Days of Christmas. And I don't know how y'all feel about the 12 Days of Christmas, but the 12 Days of Christmas just did not do it for me. The 12 Days for Christmas felt disjointed. It felt unorganized. It was a really rough go at it, and it just did not feel like it was something that Funko had really like put their all into. So I guess coming into 2021, I was expecting to see this big blowout, and they were really just going to swing for the fences right at the beginning of the year. And I wanted to see like this Uncle Sam. I was really hoping to see like an Uncle Sam for January 1st. I was hoping to see some really awesome like exclusives right in the beginning of this year, which rolls me back into that. I feel like maybe we're going to see Funko slow it down this year. Their company hasn't done historically well in the past few years. We know with the pandemic that even hit them even harder, because now they're not selling at one place, right? It's not like Walmart or something where, you know, they're getting a little bit of hurt in sales. No, they quit selling at all of their places because they weren't like what did they call them? They weren't essential workers, right? FYE, GameStop, none of those guys are essential workers, right? Any Hot Topic, none of those guys are essential workers. So it really hit them hard, and I think they made up for it with some of their cons, but some of their virtual cons, but I don't think that they made up for it 100%. Now, I'm fixing to get into one of the segments that is my favorite segment to get into on here with y'all, and we're going to go over to their Instagram, and I'm just going to scroll it and see which pops they released. I know that there's been a lot of pops released like this week in particular. Guys, if there's anything at all you want to talk about, throw a comment over there on the side real quick. Tell me what it is you want to talk about, whether it's one of the new pops that are coming out or whether you just have a question for me in general. just throw the comment over there and we will get to it. And I'm going to get over to their Instagram and see exactly what we have going on there. Because, like I said just a second ago, it seems like this year has started off on a really, really slow spot for them. And I don't really know how I feel about that, but it started off really, really slow so far. We are definitely not going to do anything to that effect. Let us get on the right screen real quick. Let's see what we have. Not on the right screen is what we have at this moment. So let's see. Let me get us on the right screen real quick. Let's see. So guys, I'm sorry that earlier I said that I wasn't going to be doing this today. Just have a lot going on. I still haven't got the brakes changed in my truck yet. They just put in this beautiful gas grill. So I had this gas grill bought for my wife, and I just had it put in. So as I was supposed to go live, these guys were still getting the gas grill in, and I didn't feel right about running down here and leaving those guys upstairs working on the gas grill while I was down there. Pop the heat, Justin. It is good to see you guys. Let's see. Yesy Lou says he just got the Street Art Captain, so I just got that one as well. That video drops Monday. That is a really cool looking Funko. Now, my GameStop hasn't got my Iron Man in yet, and then I'm kind of waiting on the Spider-Man more than all of them because that's going to go with the Miles Morales. But let's get this Instagram pulled up real quick and see what they have on there. What is new on Instagram? Guys, do y'all wait until Thursday to go over Instagram with me, or do you go over it all the time? I guess I'm just kind of curious because this has become like my Thursday ritual, is sitting down with y'all and looking at the Instagram and seeing what they have. So I have no clue what this is. Let's see what they got here. It says, are you excited for the Funko Fair next week? Here's a sneak peek. Oh, so now they're gonna leave things up to our own imagination as to exactly what we are looking at. Does anybody in the chat know what that is? I mean, because that looks so vague to me that I have zero clue what that is or what that might be or what that could be. I have no clue. To me, that looks like something strange. It looks like two horns almost with this little crazy hairstyle. I'm not sure what that is. So if you know what that is or you have an idea, how about throw a comment over there and let me know. I guess they're going to be coming out with what looks like to be a big boy soda, and the chase variants is I'm gonna just assume that his chase variants is gonna be in the blue suit versus the red suit. I really like these sodas. Y'all know how I feel about these guys, right? So I guess this one just released today. So I haven't really checked anywhere. It's probably going to be on Entertainment Earth, if I had to imagine. Is normally where I find these guys right to begin with, is right on Entertainment Earth. And then if you go on Entertainment Earth, you can normally pre-order them. But then if you just wait a little while and keep checking the Funko shop, they will eventually show up on the Funko shop. Yesy Lou, I kind of think you are right. I'm gonna go back and look at that again. But I think that you were onto something when you said that, because it could very easily be another Spyro. I think that they've come out with quite a few of him, though, haven't they? I mean, they've come out with a lot of this guy. So the fact that they would be coming out with another one seems kind of odd, but I don't put it past them because we know how they run their license agreements into the ground. Anthony, how are you doing, bud? It is good to see you. We know how they run those license agreements into the ground. I mean, so that very well could be another Spyro. I really don't know. To me, that's such a hard one to guess because of the angle in which they gave you the picture, right? They purposely gave you this angle that's going to be super hard to try and figure out, no matter how you think about that. And when you think about the grand scheme of it, that thing's going to be next to impossible to try and sit down and figure out. But it is really cool, right? I mean, you got to give them credit for kind of giving you a semi-leak, right? That's kind of like one of those semi-leaks. We're not going to leak it all the way, but we're going to leak it just enough. This is going to be one of their photos of the day. I don't really get into that, guys. Is that something that we get into? Is that a real thing? Do y'all get into the photos of the day? I mean, because to me, it seems a lot like, it seems a lot like it's just a lot of work, right, to get on there and to make a picture and then send it to them in the hopes that you get, I don't know what you would call this, if you get put on their page for the day. I don't think that gives you any more recognition, and it almost to me feels like a way of them getting me to do their job. So it's not something that I get into. I really don't get into that one a whole lot. So it's I would love a pop. What? I'm so confused. You're gonna have to tell me exactly what you're talking about there. You will have to give me some a little bit more as to what you were talking about on that one. But like I said, I don't really get into the photos of the day. It really feels to me like they're trying to get me to do their job for them, and I'm just not into being free labor for anyone. So I don't really get into them. What is this guy right here? So this is going to be one of the. I want to say that this is going to be from. Hey, look, is I want to say anime. Look, if I'm not right, then don't like throw me some nasty grams over there because I'm just kind of guessing at this point that that one's going to be an anime. It might not be an anime. Not 100% sure, but it looks like an anime pop to me. There's so many animes coming out like in 2020 that keeping up with them now is almost impossible, right? I mean, because it seems like 2020 was the year of the anime, right? If you were into anime come 2020, that was the year for you. I mean, we've kind of taken a step back since then, and I feel like so far it kind of slowed down coming at the end of 2020, the year of the anime, but that doesn't mean that it's over it, and it nor should it be, right? I mean, so just because I'm not into this anime doesn't mean I can't appreciate that anime, right? Because I really like My Hero Academia. I just don't really get into the anime in general. So, Justin, is that a game or is that an anime? I mean, because if I had to guess and look at it, I'd say that it's an anime. But look, I could very well be wrong. They keep coming out with this Golden Girl stuff, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I haven't picked. Chase, how are you doing, brother? I have not picked up any of this Golden Girl stuff, but I am a super fan of the fact that they come out with this Golden Girl stuff, and I don't really know like what age group they were targeting when they came after this. I want to say that they were probably targeting my age group, right? They were probably targeting that like 40-year-old age group, and which seems kind of crazy, right? Because we weren't necessarily the age group that sat down and really got into some Golden Girls, but we can all remember going to our grandparents' houses and our families watching the Golden Girls, and it was almost like ridiculousness today, right? Because in those days there were only like 4 or 5 major not reality TV shows. I almost said reality TV show. There was only 4 or 5 like major like shows going on, right? And this was one of them, and those were a lot like ridiculousness, right? They did so many of them that you could almost catch them on this just constant rewind, right? Constant on TV, constantly getting the reruns. Look, that was back in the day when you had to go to the grocery store and you would get the TV guide and you could like see what was coming on what day of the week and at what time. And I know everybody here, look, if you remember what a TV guide is, how about tell me if you remember the TV guide? Because I can remember the TV guide where you would go and spend, it was like 99 cents, and then you would flip through it and try and figure out what day of the week the A-Team was coming on and what day of the week the Fall Guy and at what time and when I needed to be in front of the TV and to have your bunny ears all in the right position. If y'all can remember what that is, throw a comment over there and tell me some of your memories. I want to hear your memories of like the whole she's a vampire. Oh my god. I want to hear your stories about the TV guide in your old TVs with your bunny ears and the lack of a remote. They have been doubling down on these Paka Pakas lately. Now, I know they're not calling this one a Paka Paka, and that's going to go back into another one of those photos of the day. So now I'm wondering how many photos of the day do they have, and how many people do they have doing their job for them? They probably don't even have to hire a crew to take pictures. They just have people do it for them on a pretty regular basis, and this one's also going to be a photo of the day. So I guess you can have 12 or 13 photos of the day as long as that goes with what you're wanting. This is going to be their 65th anniversary mystery minis. I really don't get into the minis because it's kind of like one of those crazy things. At some point you have to pick and choose your battles, and this is one of them where I pick and chose my battle that I wasn't going to fall too far down the rabbit hole of the minis. And Chase says, oh yeah, Dad yelling at me to get the TV guide. Look, those TV guides, you're never going to see those TV guides again. Those TV guides were so awesome. And, they used to have like the artwork on the cover of them. Just such a great experience. TV Guide was a necessity. It definitely was a necessity. Chase says the kid was the remote. That is very, very true. You were the remote, right? There was no like, let me grab the remote and click it. And if you did, that thing didn't work. I mean, they were this big. It took two hands. You had to click it like this. You had to hold it at the right angle, at the right place, at the right spot, and hit the button at the right time, and pray that it somehow like got that signal from there to the TV. And look, it was always faster to just get up and go mess with the TV, do what you had to do, and then come back. Let's see, Justin, you are not fooling me. You are not old enough to know what a TV guide is. You are not old enough to know what the old remotes are. You're not old enough to know what the horror stories were behind the putting aluminum foil on your bunny ears so that they got a better signal. All of that stuff was probably about 10 years before you. It was just a little bit before you, just a little bit. I mean, you missed it by just a little bit, but don't worry, you did not miss much. Chase says the black and white. Let's see. He says we had the old turntable black and white TV combo. You know, that was such a crazy thing. That was such a crazy time. Now, this is what I want you to think about though for a quick minute. I want you to sit back and think, how crazy is it that we went from that as a kid till now we can get on here, we can talk to each other, we can hang out virtually, but still feel connected. Thinking of, there was a time when we sit down and had a black TV and the remotes never worked, and you had to hold the ears at a certain position to get them to go. There was no cell phones, there was no internet, there was no emails, and you know what's funny is we all survived. That's funny. No one, there was never nothing, no emergency that you had to get a hold of me at this minute. And if you had to get a hold of me, I would call you back when I got home. So crazy that we came from here to there. So crazy in the dials. So Chase, here's the funny thing is that I recently took an old the old radios. I know you all remember what they were. They stand about this high, and they're probably about this wide. They have the knobs on them. They had, you just turn it until you find the right spot on there. I recently took one, painted it, and then put a Bluetooth speaker inside of it where the speaker would be, so that you could control it on your phone. So it looked like it was the old like retro style, but yet it had the modern like inside to it, which took almost no work whatsoever. I mean, you just go to Walmart, buy a Bluetooth speaker, you paint that old box, and make sure the knobs and all still look good on it, clean everything up. Looks really cool. Really, really cool. So anyways, I'm going to get off this topic, and we're going to go back to seeing. Yesy Lou says, yes, we used to use clothes hangers. Look, I remember those days so clearly, right? And sometimes it's so fun to just sit back, and man, I'm glad that y'all have a lot of the same memories that I do. Star Trek, yeah, I mean, Star Trek, are real now. Look, they're so real now. And they started with the whole two-way. Do y'all remember the whole two-way stuff? They started with all of that. I mean, look, that's just phenomenal, man. Just phenomenal. I'm glad that y'all all like share into that one with me. Jim Pops, how are you doing, brother? We're sitting here talking about the old bunny ears on your TV and how the remotes never worked and all of that good stuff. But now that I've gotten so far off topic, I'm going to get back on topic, and we're going to get back into these pops. So this looks like this is going to be a new line of the mystery minis coming out. If you are into Disney, you are absolutely into these guys, right? Because you cannot not be into Disney and not be into Funko. It almost seems like the two go hand in hand. And I really think that if Funko ever got into serious problems, I think Disney would be the company that would come along and help them out of it, if we're being honest with each other, right? Because I really like to be honest with you guys. If I'm being honest, I think Disney would come in and help them out because of this, right? They sell so much merchandise for Disney and everybody else that I think that they would almost get a bailout package from these companies like we've never seen. So I don't ever think that Funko is going to be going anywhere anytime soon. This is going to be some of they're not calling them Paka Pakas. They look a lot like a Paka Paka to me. They're calling it a Snapster or Snap. I know I didn't say that right. You don't have to tell me I didn't say that right. I absolutely know that I didn't, but I'm never going to get that down right with my speech impediment. It's just never, ever going to happen. I mean, that's just one of them that's not going to. But these things are okay. Look, if you're into collecting things like this, I clearly understand like why you would be into it, right? I mean, because look, I like these kind of things as well. I mean, I have these little ones here. I can't remember what they're called. These things are super cool. Now, these things would have been more into the realm of a designer plastic, and you can go places and trade these just like you can cards and things to that effect. I can't remember the name of them. It's one of those Toki Pokemon. I'm not even gonna try and say that one either, if we're being honest. Not even gonna try. So let's see. It says he's digging the zombie. Chase, what are you talking about, the zombie? Now I'm gonna have to like try and figure out exactly what you're talking about. Digging the zombie Paka. Is there a zombie Paka in that? Am I missing the zombie? Where is the zombie, Chase? Throw me a clue real quick. Someone's like, where's Waldo at this point? I'm trying to find Waldo in the group of these things, and I can't seem to find Waldo. Is there a zombie one in there? Where's he at? Where's he at? I still don't see him. Let's see. I guess I see one that's kind of a zombie. I don't know. Kind of strange. They are kind of strange. Not something that I'm going to be getting into anytime soon. Now, it looks like they have a lot of these like pictures of the day coming on here and stuff of that effect. That once again, that goes to me saying a minute ago that they do not have a whole lot going on right now. And I just don't understand what is going on. I don't understand why they're not like, why they didn't hit the market. And a lot of you weren't on here right at the beginning, and I was saying right at the beginning that I kind of expected Funko to come in strong this year after their week, like 12 days of Christmas, which I don't know how y'all felt about that, but I felt like that was an extremely weak thing that they did, right? Those 12 days of Christmas were so weak that I just, oh, the line before that, that's why I couldn't find them, right? Well, anyways, so their 12 days of Christmas to me was really weak. It was disjointed. They didn't have a whole lot going on. I felt like their 12 days of Christmas was weak. I think a lot of people felt that same belief with me, that the 12 days of Christmas was really weak. So I kind of expected them to come into this year like guns a-blazing, right? I expected to come into this year with some Yosemite Sam stuff, right? We were going to come in and we were going to jump up and down and they were going to pound on their chest and they were going to like show us who King Kong was, but they didn't, right? They came into the year and it just fell flat, and they stayed on a flat line for like 2 weeks, and then they said, hey guys, we have a toy fair coming up. But then they've still been flatlined. We haven't seen like any releases as far as like this one's releasing today, you should go to the shop and pick it up. We haven't seen anything like that. They have just kind of dropped everything that they're doing, and now they're going to come out with this the Funko Fair, which is kind of like, I want to say it's their version of a toy fair, right? I mean, it's what I'm wanting to say it was. They just kind of dropped us, right? I mean, it just kind of fell off, and I'm hoping that soon we see like them starting to like get it moving again. We see the energy coming back. We see them pushing forward again, because as much as we don't like them dropping a lot of exclusives all at once, back to back, it kind of makes it boring when they're not. When they're not coming in and saying this one's tomorrow, this one's the next day, this one's Monday, this one's Wednesday. When they're not doing that, it starts to feel like everything has slowed down, right? I mean, if they start to like take away the news aspect, they start to take away so much of that stuff, right? This Coke can is pretty awesome. Now, I want to know how y'all feel about these Coke cans. Are y'all buying these ad icons? Is this something that you got into? Is this something that you're going to get into? These are going to go in the top of the list for my list of 2021 of Funko Pops that do not look like a Funko Pop. They are going to go right up in the top of the list. And I'll probably turn that into a monthly thing as well, like the Funko Pops that don't look like Funko Pops, and kind of like I do with the this is my Funko pick of whatever month it is. And I'm probably going to do that. And this is probably going to go right up in the top of the list of Funko Pops that don't look like Funko Pops, because to me, they look nothing like a Funko Pop. I mean, it just nothing. And so I don't know how I feel about them, right? I haven't quite thought, how do I feel about this? How do I feel that now they're going to make Funko Pops that look it's so easy to tell what it is, right? I look at this guy and I go, it's a Coke can. Why don't I put eyes on a Coke can and some hands and a feet? And then I have my own soda person can craziness, whatever it is that they have going on right there. Yeah, I mean, it seems like that they've put all of their eggs in this fair, and I just don't know how I feel about it, right? It's so hit or miss. Yeah, look, I feel the same way. The only thing I don't like about them is they feel like they are so like obvious as to what they are, right? I take a Coke can, I put some hands and feet on him, and I throw some eyes. Matter of fact, I'm probably just gonna go to Walmart this evening and get everything out of the craft department to make my own Pepsi can and my own Coke can. I'm probably even gonna get a little wild with it and make my own beer can or something. Who knows? I mean, it look. I just think the creativity level that went into making this one was very low, right? I mean, I can kind of see how this happened, right? I can kind of visualize what happened. I'm sitting in the break room. Let me grab my E&W because I don't normally drink a lot of soda, but today I needed a pick me up because I got busy and missed lunch, and we all know how that works. So I'm sitting at break room and I'm thinking, man, I need to come up with a good idea or the boss is going to fire me. And I'm drinking my Coke and I look at my Coke can and say, you know, if I put eyes and feet and hands on him, he'd be a success. And look, that's to me, that's what happened, right? To me, that's what happened. They just it last minute somebody said that they were going to do something crazy, and that's what they did, right? And I think it's too obvious, right? I think they should have done something else. I think when they come out with the Coca-Cola Polar Bear, they were on the right place, right? I think when they come out with the like if they did something for Budweiser, if they came out with the frogs, they're in the right place. If you just come out with a Budweiser can, I think to me it fell flat at that point, right? It fell flat. And yeah, it does look like something that you would see at a swap meet, right? I mean, it looks like, yeah, and it's funny that you brought that up because I know y'all have all seen the Coca-Cola airplanes, the Coca-Cola, the different stuff people have set down and built with the cans. That's exactly what this looks like. It looks like something that belonged at a swap meet. And I just don't understand like the and my fear in a lot of this stuff is that when Funko did their laying off, they laid off the wrong creators, right? They laid off the wrong creative thinking people. They should have maybe rethought who they were going to lay off versus who they kept, because it's little stuff like this that make me believe that. And it's also stuff like that when they don't come out with something right at the beginning of 2021. I look, in my eyes, I truly wanted to see like another Uncle Sam, because I don't have an Uncle Sam. I'm never going to buy an Uncle Sam at the price people want for him. I would like to have one in my collection, but that means I'm going to have to wait for Funko to make another one. I'm okay with waiting for them to make another one, but that's what that means for me. I'm going to have to wait for them to make another one. So I guess I was really hoping that come this year that they were going to drop us another one. This is another one of those Paka Pakas. I think these things are super cute. The problem I think with them is they take up they're very small. They almost take up no room, and they're going to be easy to lose, right? That's the problem I see with the Paka Pakas and the smaller stuff, is they're not made, they don't have boxes for you to collect. They're not made to keep in a box. They are made for you to physically take out. And once it's Spud McKenzie, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, you were on it. They could, just like they did with the Target Zero, they could come out with the Spud McKenzie. So many things they could do that to me are much more creative than coming out with the can and then just showing us a can. What I was saying, though, about the Paka Pakas and the smaller ones, the problem I see with them is they're very easy to lose. They're not made to keep in a box. They're made to get out. They're made for you to have your hands on. And to me, they're made to lose, right? You're eventually going to lose these in some shape, way, form, or fashion, unless you put them all up and you take very good care of where they're at and you dust them and all of that stuff, right? And look, as collectors, we all understand that problem, right? We all understand that problem in having to dust your collection. You have to keep up with your collection. You have to make sure that nothing it's so I understand for people that want to collect it. I get the reasons that they're going to collect it. Super cute, but to me it feels like something that I'm going to lose, right? It feels like I'm going to lose this at some point, and that's why I don't really get into those guys. This has to be one of the pictures of the day, so this is going to be only like the third picture, fourth picture of the day, or maybe it's they just don't post on here anymore, which is very possible. I seen these guys recently, and I actually really like these, and I'm not going to run out and collect them anytime soon. This is going to be another one, and this is another one of their, like, let's see, hashtag Paka Paka. It looks like this is going to be maybe one of their almost photos of the day. Maybe they actually did this one on their own. I'm not real sure. This one is really cool, though. This one's kind of like the soup cans, and I've seen some other ones that have like the ramen noodle thing going on, where it's a whole like the ramen noodles are hanging over, and they have like a whole face. These things are kind of cool, but once again, it goes into that, they're kind of small, right? I'm going to lose this thing, right? I mean, it's so small that when I get 100 or so of them, I'm gonna forget them because they're only gonna take up this much space at 100 of them, and it's so they're really cool. I wish they would make them a little bigger. I wish that maybe they were the size of a pop. That way I could leave it in the box. I didn't have to take it out, kind of like the Roodles and the spicy noodles, stuff like that. I can leave those guys in the box and never have to take them out. But it really just depends on what you're collecting and how you feel about them. But they're super cool. I really like the fact that they come out with them. This is just going to be another one of those NFL players that they come out with. I quit watching the NFL though when they started taking a knee, so I'm just going to kind of blow by that one. We got some more of these little Paka cute guys. Those things are pretty awesome. Look, I think that they're super adorable. They're really cute. I think it's really awesome that they made their ears avocados. I mean, look, how creative was that? I'm going to make their ears avocados. It's not something that I plan on doing anytime soon, but it's still pretty awesome, right, that they decided to sit down and make their ears avocados. Here is what we were saying just a second ago, though. This goes into the super uncreative side of life. I mean, when I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, how creative can I be? This is not where I'm at, right? I'm not with the, well, I'm going to take a picture of my donut bag and I'm going to try and sell that off as a figure. I mean, I truly don't understand these, and I have been trying to understand them, but I can't quite wrap my brain around it. So I didn't buy these guys when they came out. The only ones that I bought were the ones that I could think were kind of creative, like when you had the Coca-Cola bottle cap. I thought that was pretty cool, so I ordered that one. And then there was a few other ones like the Planter Peanuts and those guys that I thought, man, this was pretty clever. I see how they did that. When I see these, though, it goes back to what Chase said a second ago. It goes right back into that. Well, I mean, if I was at the flea market and somebody took their donut bag and added feet and hands and put little like the eyeballs on it, the ones that move all over the place all the time, and then tried to sell it to me, I mean, that's how I feel when I am looking at this. I feel like they were trying to bamboozle me, right? I mean, they were like, well, don't have anything to make today, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna put hands and feet on products, and then we're going to call them pops, which I can't quite wrap my brain around what they have going on there and why they're doing it. So I don't really understand what's going on. But look, if you're into the collecting them, I'm not opposed. Look, I don't believe in yucking someone's yum. I don't believe in dissing someone because they collect one thing while I collect another. That's where Funko themselves are super awesome, right? That's what makes this a really awesome community. That's what makes this really awesome to collect, is that nobody's collection are going to look the same. Nobody's collection is going to look the same. Everybody's collection is going to be a little different at the end of the day. Everybody's collection is going to be a little different, and no matter how you look at it, everybody's collection will be a little different. Your collection's going to have more movie in it than mine is. My collection's going to have more Deadpool than yours. I mean, so that's the one thing that makes Funko really awesome, and it makes it really cool to collect, is the fact that everybody's collection is going to be a little different, right? Now, coming into the 2021 and the toy fair that they're about to do, and I guess on the 19th is when it's going to start, I kind of hope that we see some more limited edition Funko Freddy's. Now, we didn't see those this year per se, and I can't think of any in particular that when we seen any of their like Funko Freddy limited edition. JB, how are you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Hey guys, I truly appreciate everybody who's come and hung out. I seen that we had some of them drop off when I started talking about the donuts not having any creativity. I'm sorry if that offended you. I don't mean it to offend you. It's just my opinion. So it's okay that if my opinion doesn't match your opinion, they don't always have to. And that's the beautiful part about living in the United States, right? We can all have a different opinion and we can still hug it out at the end of the day, which is one of the things that like I truly look, that's one of the things that make this country awesome, right? But this is going to be some of the strongest chases that I've seen in a really long time. Now, when they came out with the whole salt and pepper and they did that line, I was like, that's just okay. Now, when they came out with the chase variances of these, oh look, somebody was on it when they came out with the Chase variants of these. Because of the song, right? They had the whole song Waterfalls. I mean, we all know the song, right? They did that song, and then they did all of their pops with the Chase variants is clear like the waterfall, right? That's supposed to like give you the idea that there's water going on, right? So I hope that we see some other strong chases this year. I mean, there's a few of them out there that I'm really hoping that we see this year that we haven't seen, right? I want to see a limited edition Funko Freddy. I really want to see that one, right? I want to see like a 3,000 piece, a 5,000 piece. I want to see more of that this year. I really want to see more of the limited editions. I want to see some really strong chases, and I'm hoping that in their toy fair that they're about to do, that they're about to show us some of the stuff that they're going to come out with this year that's just going to blow our minds, right? That's what I am hoping for. Now, I'm not holding my breath. I mean, because we all know that like how that could go down, right? I mean, they could try and blow our minds and then instantly like not do it at all. Vince Lombardi. It took me a minute because they don't have his name on there. So it took me a minute to figure out who this one is. This is going to be Vince Lombardi. So I am actually going to go to Entertainment Earth because I've seen a few of them on here that I haven't like really noticed. They have the new soda, and then they have this guy that is also going to be pretty fiery. And look, even if you're not into today's NFL, this guy is so iconic that you cannot not want to collect this, in my opinion, right? This is I'm gonna go check him out. That one's pretty fire. Let's see what else they got. And they come out with B Rabbit, and I want to say that B Rabbit was like my Funko pick of the week, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. The fact that they've come out with B Rabbit and not Eminem tells me there's some kind of license agreement there that we're not fully understanding. I mean, there's something going on to that effect that we haven't truly figured out, but there's something going on that we don't understand. Chase, more zombies. They're definitely coming out with more zombies. I think they're going to do the same thing with the zombies, just like they did with everything else, and they're just going to keep like pushing them out and pushing them out, pushing them out. I think that the zombie line is going to become the Venom line, but in their defense, right? Look, I'm gonna pause for a minute and talk about it. In their defense. In their defense, I just watched Venom the other day for the first time. So I just sat down and I watched Venom. I had never sat down and watched Venom in the past. It was not something that I had done. I wasn't really into it. I don't watch that much TV, if we're being honest. I don't really pay attention to a lot of TV, and I really stay away from the news, especially now. And if y'all aren't staying away from the news, you should be. Look, at that stuff detrimental to your mental health. And there's so much like trying to split America apart that, look, if just stay away from the news for a couple of weeks, let all of that blow over, right? But in their defense, I just sat down and watched Venom for the first time, and I didn't realize like how cool that was, right? Or I didn't even really know the backstory of Venom. I didn't know that he could jump from person to person to person. So the fact that we see Venom on different people and different ideas now only makes sense to me, right? Only makes sense to me now while we see those, because essentially Venom could be anybody. Venom could jump in Spider-Man, Venom could jump in Superman, Venom could, so it only makes sense to me now that we see Venom in so many different places that we didn't see him before. It only makes sense to me now. So I kind of feel like there's a little bit of me that kind of needs to like say that I'm sorry for giving them such a hard time about the Venoms, and then I feel there's another side to me that says it's never going to happen because they still have made too many of those guys. I mean, so look, they still made too many of those guys, but there's that little part of me now that after I've watched the movie and I have a little bit more understanding as to how it goes down, says, oh, I can give them a little bit of a break now, right? I mean, I can kind of see what's going on. This is, it's funny that I was just talking about this guy a minute ago. Now, this one to me is pretty creative, right? I've never sat down and said, hey, I think I'm going to take a Coke cap and I'm going to turn it into a figure. And then not only am I going to turn it into a figure, I'm going to sell this figure to people by the thousands, right? So look, I think that this is super creative. Now, I don't know that it took somebody with super creative skills to come up with this idea of taking a Coke cap and turning it into a Funko, but this is another one that's going to go in my list this year, is Funko Pops that look nothing like a Funko Pop, right? I mean, because that's one of them that's going to go right into it. It's one of them that's going to go right into that, a Funko Pop that looks nothing like a Funko Pop, right? I mean, so I don't. On one hand, I think these things are really cool, and then there's that other side of me that says, I don't really know. This one is going to be a DJ. I want to say that he is from Canada. It's. I think one of you guys on here is the one that actually told me who he was, because I had no clue about who this guy was or what he did. But I've noticed something, and I kind of, y'all tell me what you think. So I want to say that, and I'm trying to think exactly who it was. So it's who are the techno guys that they came out, Daft Punk. That's it. Daft Punk came out with the whole wearing mask a long time ago, right? So Daft Punk came out with their helmets, and then people replicated their helmets, and to this day you can find replicas of their helmets all over the place. I actually worked with a kid that made replicas of the whole Daft Punk helmet, and they were actually pretty good replicas. Why I never got one, I'm kind of confused till this day. But since then they've come out with the marshmallow guy. So you had the marshmallow guy who came out. I don't know what his name is. Marshmallow, maybe, is that his name? Does that sound like a real thing, right? That we would just call ourselves Marshmallow one day. So I know that, like, there was the whole marshmallow guy, and then now I see this guy. Is this becoming a trend where the DJs like make helmets to hide their head from? Logically, that doesn't make sense to me, that they're hiding who they are from the public. So does that mean as long as somebody is wearing a helmet on stage, then they can pretend that they are me? I mean, to me, that takes the identity away from the person who's doing it, and it's kind of weird when you start taking the identity away. And I want you to think about it like this: when I mean take the identity away, there was a really long time in our society where you had restaurants and then you had cooks, right? People really didn't know who the cooks were. So the cooks were the guys that the restaurant hired and the owner hired, and they were in the back and they did all of the hard work, and they got very, very little recognition, which was sad, right? The people who got recognition were the owners and the managers, and these people were the ones that got recognition. But then in the last 20 years, maybe not even that long, let's say in the last 15 years, you started to see this change, right? You started to see this change where the restaurant was more about who was the cook at the restaurant and less about what the restaurant was, right? Because look, I'll go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant if he's serving beef liver, right? I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, he can serve beef liver, and because Gordon Ramsay's in the kitchen, I'm there, right? I'm down. This to me feels like maybe the identity is being taken away from the DJs, and that's the wrong direction to go. Just look, I feel like that's the wrong direction to go. I think that they should start stopping that. Look, it's if you don't feel comfortable on stage, put a hat on, pull your hat way down or something. I mean, there's so many other ways that, like, you could change that. So I hope that that's not what's going on, but that's the way it feels, right? It feels like we're having, like, the identity of the DJs are kind of going away, and they're becoming this, like, mass singer almost, right? Funko PDX, how are you doing, brother? It is good to see you. So I think that if I want this one so bad, I know that it's still for sale everywhere, I think, right? I mean, I think you can still go to their website and pick this one up. I don't 100% know that, and if we have time before 4 o'clock, I'll go check that out, guys. I'm really sorry that I came on late today. Like I said, I'm still in the process of changing the brakes on my truck. I was getting a gas range put in for my wife. Her birthday is the 16th, so look, I'm kind of like trying to do as much as I can for her coming up into her birthday. She's done so much for me that look, I feel like I need to do everything I can to pay her back. So I got the gas range put in tonight, and I'll show y'all a picture of that real quick. I'm still like really like I'm still like really on it that I managed to get that one in there. When I didn't get it in there, some guys actually came over and got that one in there. But let's see if we can get it. Can you see that one? Here, we'll move to the full screen. So my wife does these desserts for this couple every year, and this year as we were delivering the desserts, we asked if what they would charge us, because he owns a construction crew, to get this gas stovetop put in, and they actually came over and did it today. Look, I can't say thank you enough for Jason and his company coming over and doing that today. I truly appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that so much more than you know. But he came over today, he got that put in. He didn't charge me anything. I still feel really bad about the fact that he didn't charge me anything, but maybe he'll send me a bill in the mail. If he sends me a bill in the mail, I'm absolutely okay with that, because look, I couldn't have put it in on my own. I have no idea how to put a gas grill in. They really helped me out on that, and I truly appreciate that. Let's see what else we got. So I don't know what this is. This must be one of their purses. It is a purse. I'm not really into like them getting into clothing. I'm afraid that they're gonna like spread themselves too far, and then the next thing you know, they're gonna be like way out there somewhere. So this is gonna be from the shawarma scene. Shawarma scene. Shawarma. I hope I said that right. Let's see. I don't know who he is. Somebody throw a comment over there and tell me exactly who he is. This is not Bruce Banner. Exactly who is this one right here? I don't know. Somebody throw a comment and tell me exactly who this one is, because I have zero clue as to who this one is. Let's see. Move on from there. And look, I'm gonna put this up there just in case any of y'all want to get into this. But look, this is what I'm gonna say. I don't get into this because I'm not doing someone's job for them, right? I mean, I'm just not. I feel like unless they're going to pay me, right? Unless they're going to give me some free pops. If they were going to give me a free pop, or they were going to have some kind of incentive other than I'm just going to share it on my page, I would maybe possibly get into this, right? But just asking me to do their job for them and then posting my picture on their page and doing like hashtag whatever it is that they're doing, I'm not really going to get into that, right? It's just not something that I plan on doing today. It's not something that I'm getting into. So I'm going to get off of that one real quick, and we're going to keep going and seeing what else they have on here. Chase, are you saying that that's Bruce Banner? Because that's not Bruce Banner, is it? Bruce Banner. Did I say that right? Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. Bruce Banner. I don't really know anymore. um, think they do a reward if you post it. Okay, well, that would maybe be worth it if they did some kind of incentive somewhere that says, hey, look, I'm going to like give you the prototype, you know, if you do it this one, or whatever it is, right? You know, look, I don't do it because I just don't believe in working for free, and that's one of them that I feel like they've kind of convinced you to do their work for them, and I just don't plan on like doing their work for them anytime soon. We're getting into these soups that I was just talking about, and I was just talking about these guys and how they've started making this whole soup line. I wish they were bigger. I really wish these guys were bigger. I wish that they were the size of the pops, and then they put them in the box just like they would have popped, because if they did, I would collect these guys if they did that, right? If they put these guys in a box and they turn them into the regular size pop, I would go after them. But because they're making them in that smaller mini size, it goes into what I was talking about earlier. It's going to be really easy to lose if you're not careful. You're going to get 1,000 of these guys set up on a shelf somewhere. You're going to have to, it'll take 3 days to dust the shelf, because you'll have to move 1,000 of these guys off, and then you'll have to reorganize 1,000 of them. And then the more you touch them, the more your fingerprints are going to like take the paint away. I mean, so there's so many things that are going to happen to these guys that having one in mint shape 10 years from now is going to be next to impossible. And maybe that's a reason to collect them, right? Maybe that's a reason that you want to collect them. Maybe that's a reason that you want to go after them. Is it the fact that in 10 years, there's going to be almost nobody who has these guys just sitting around hanging out, right? I mean, because it's just not going to happen. They're going to be so hard to collect. There's no boxes. And then when you sell these guys, how do you sell them? Do you sell them by themselves individually? Do you sell them with boxes? What exactly do you do? We might know it. Okay, so it's a National Bobblehead Day. How exactly did I miss that? That's going to be from a week ago. That is from exactly a week ago. I didn't even know that was a such thing. Did y'all know that they had National Bobblehead Day, and then they somehow like put a gift on Instagram? Can you put gifts on Instagram? Oh, I'm so confused. My life is getting more and more confusing by the minute now that I'm thinking about this. More and more confusing by the minute. We're going into another one of the wrestlers. Now, here is something interesting that Yessie Lou told me not too long ago that I actually had to look up, which has kind of changed the way I thought about these guys. So when I was first talking about these guys, I said that I didn't understand why they would take the Marvel guys and then turn them into wrestlers. That didn't really make any sense, right? Didn't make no sense to me whatsoever as to what they had going on. Until Jesse, I said Jesse Lou. I can't remember if it's Jesse Lou or Yessie Lou, but I always say Yessie Lou. So there's actually a whole wrestling league out there where these guys dress up in these Marvel characters and they do this wrestling. And I don't think they actually go by like Wolverine or nothing like that, but there's a whole like license agreement behind it, and there's a big movement behind it. So I totally understand it now. If you're into like that style of wrestling and you're into like all of that, I totally get it now. I'm not going to get into them because, at some point Funko makes you pick and choose your battles, right? They kind of force you into picking and choosing whatever your battle is going to be and what you're going to do and what you're going to get into, and that's one of them that I'm going to choose to stay out of. But just know that if you want to do some more research, it's not really hard. You can get on YouTube, you can look these guys up, look up like Marvel Wrestler or something to that effect, and you're going to find like this whole wrestling league that they all dress up as different Marvel characters. It's pretty cool, and it was Jesse Lou that pointed that out to me. And that was really cool. So thank you, Jesse Lou, for pointing that one out to me. I don't know why they've like put some. Oh, so these are probably like what they should have done to begin with. Now I'm a little upset that I just noticed this. These are actually UV protected. Now what that means is for your boxes, the sunlight is really going to be detrimental to your box, right? It's going to fade your box. It's going to do things to your box like you have never seen. So all of my pops I keep out of the sunlight. I keep them in as non-sunlight area is possible. So they come out with these UV protected. Now I'm going to look at this and see if it says 100% UV protected, or it doesn't say 100% UV protected, which to me, any protection is better than no protection. So it's really cool that they've kind of done that. But I wish that they would have come out with those to begin with, because this is going to protect your boxes from the sunlight. So if you have any of your pops that are sitting in sunlight, and move them out of the sunlight, look, it's going to be so bad on that box. I don't know how it's going to affect your pop, but if you leave it in that sunlight for a year, I promise you that your box is going to be faded in some strange way like you've never seen, and you're not really going to be able to understand what happened. It was the sunlight that got it. So the fact that they're making these new protected boxes with the UV protection on it's really cool. I wish that they would have done like 100% UV protected though. That way, like, you knew that if you left it in the sunlight, it was cool. But if you just want to avoid all of that, just don't let any of your windows like shine on them. Make sure you have curtains up, things to that effect. That way you don't have to worry about any of that at all. I mean, look, that just makes it easier, but it's really cool that they've come out with like some UV protection for that stuff. So look, you got to give them credit for that. I don't know how creative that was, but you have to give them credit for that. This one is another one of the wrestlers. And look, I'm not even going to try and say the name anymore. We all know that I slaughter the name every time I try and say it. I'm not good at saying this name at all. I'm not even going to try. We're just going to stay away from it. This is another one, and I want to say that this was what is it, Miss Marvel, or right? Did I say that right? Somebody throw a comment over there and tell me if I said that one right. This is Miss Marvel, right? Yeah, Miss Marvel. Throw a comment over there and tell me if that one's right. Did I say that one right? Let's see. Yeah, so look, that's another problem, right? And maybe they fixed the lids on this one, right? Because it just seems like, look, I glue mine down. I tape mine down with a little bit of clear tape every time I put something in like a severe hard stack. But I only put my stuff in hard stacks that I feel like really need to be in a hard stack. If they don't really need to be in a hard stack, then they just kind of go into soft stacks, which I think that they're totally okay with putting them in the soft stack, but I guess that it's just a preference thing, right? It's kind of like in the box, out of the box. Just really depends on who you are. Now, this is another one of those Pocket Pockets. These things are super cute. I don't really know how I feel about them making like the oranges his ears. I mean, once again, it goes into that creativity thing, right? They're like, hey, we're going to make them in all different colors. Well, how are you going to make them creative? Well, we'll just make their ears strawberries and watermelons, and so super cutesy stuff, really awesome. I like it. Is not something that I'm going to be going after anytime soon. Funko PDX says that they should make a glow Venom, and look, I think anytime that they start making glow anything, I'm into it. The part that I hate about making the glow stuff is when they make it non-glow and then they make it glow like the next day. I think that's garbage. I've always thought that was garbage. I'll always think that's garbage. They're showing off their fair. We kind of went over that right at the beginning. It's going to be the 19th through the 29th. They're not going to be releasing any pops in this that I'm aware of. So that's one of the things that we need to keep in mind, right? When they're making these, they're not necessarily going to come out and they're not going to be releasing pops the day that they're doing the toy fairs. They're just coming out and saying this is what we have going on, just like they did last year. They came out in the New York Toy Fair. They said, hey guys, these are the new sodas. No one had seen the sodas before then, so maybe they're going to come out with a new line this year. I'm hoping that they don't come out with a new line this year. I'm hoping that they perfect the ones that they already have, kind of like the Funko albums. They still have a lot of work to do with their Funko albums. So I'm hoping that there's some perfecting going on versus like coming out with new lines. But we'll just have to wait and see what Funko does. We know that they have stayed relevant as long as they have, continuously coming out with new stuff. I mean, so it won't be a surprise to me at all if we see them come out with a new line altogether, right? It will be I will not be surprised at all. Now, this is the chases that I was talking about, right? This is an extremely strong chase, and you would be hard pressed to tell me that this is not a strong chase, right? This is a strong chase. When they were doing some chases and they were thinking about how could we be like really cliche, they figured it out, but they figured it out in the right way, right? I mean, to me, they figured this one out, and I like this one. I'm not going to be collecting them. I'm not that big into TLC, but if I was that big into TLC, I would definitely be going after the chase variances, because I think the chase variants of these guys are the strongest chase variants I've seen since the 1989 Joker. Now, I don't think that they are stronger than the 1989 Joker, but I feel like they are right up there with him, and a lot like the whole Evil Knievel that they just come out with not too long ago, who has the variants, right? And the variants is his helmet. We've all seen that one. That's another really awesome one that they're coming out with. I have not seen this one. This is going to be another one from the Funko photo of a day, so there's no telling how old that one is. And then it really looks like that's about it. I mean, other than they're paying homage to the lightweight champion, I mean, that's really cool that they did that. Congratulations for being the lightweight champion of something. I'm just assuming that that's going to be boxing more than anything. It looks like everything else we've kind of already went over. Guys, don't forget, tomorrow, me and Mr. TechBot, we go live every Friday at 6 p.m. We got some really cool stuff going on, and me and him are working on lots of cool stuff that we'll be doing here in the future. I mean, so we're going to be adding some different segments to our live to keep it from getting so stale. We'll still be doing our news. We'll still be doing our guest appearances with what's in your collection and bringing those guys on. But then we have a couple of other segments we're bringing in, right? He's still doing his mystery boxes. We're just going to keep evolving and keep going. And as long as you guys are watching, we're going to keep changing it. And we really appreciate y'all coming on. And this Friday is going to be the first episode of WandaVision. So unless you've been living under a brick somewhere or a tree or something to that effect, they are going to be coming out with the first season of WandaVision this Friday. So this Friday will be the first season of WandaVision. This Saturday is going to be the first review of WandaVision. So it's going to be the same crew. So we're going to have Mr. TechBot. We're going to have Discovery Bay Comics JB. We're going to have JKL Parker. We're going to have myself. We're all going to be on there. We're going to do a review of the WandaVision. But this is what I'm going to say to you, and this is what you need to remember, that if you are not into spoiler alerts, then you probably should not come on there and check that out, because it's going to be one massive spoiler alert. That's what we do. That's what the whole review is about, right? The review is about going over the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode and trying to give every little leak we can along the way, right? Every little poke they had at another show, every little like insight they have and this is the last season was JKL. I'm truly expect it to be JKL again. That's going to give us all of our awesome like little like Easter eggs where they threw this in there and they threw that in there. So I truly expect to see that coming up again here soon, and that's going to be this Saturday at 3:30 standard Eastern time, whatever exactly standard Eastern time means. I'm not 100% sure, but we say that anyways, and I'm just going to continue to say it. Just in case. Yesy Lou, brother, how are you doing? I was just talking about you a minute ago and how you educated me on the Marvel wrestlers, and I truly appreciate that. But that you can actually get on YouTube and check out this whole thing about them. But guys, I just want to say thank you again for coming and hanging out with me. Look, I truly appreciate y'all coming and hanging out, and I'm sorry that everything got a little late today. Hey, look, it happens. It was the first time that I had honestly thought about canceling a live altogether. Actually sent out a message before this live that it was going to be canceled. So if you got that message and you didn't show up, I'm really sorry, guys. Don't forget to go check out my Patreon. We have the Patreon only giveaway coming up. If that's something that you get into, the link is down in the description below. Look, make sure you go follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all of that good stuff. Throw a thumbs up on this video real quick before we get out of here. Make sure you put a thumbs up on this video. And hey, if you really want to help the channel out, share this video right here on one of your social media platforms. Talk to your family, your friends, everybody, guys. Let's get it involved. Let's hit that 5,000. Y'all all know that I'm on that like 5,000 like roll right now. I want to hit the 5,000 this year. I'm gonna push to hit the 5,000 this year, guys. I truly appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me. I'll see y'all tomorrow.